What's up? What's up? How are you, everybody? Magandang gabi. Ito na naman tayo sa isang masayang kwentuhan tungkol sa buhay, sa pera at lahat ng mga bagay-bagay na hinaharap natin since the pandemic has made things very, very difficult. We have decided to come to your house for free. Wala na pong babayaran. Kailangan lang makinig, magbaon ng popcorn at maraming kwentuhan ang magiging reason para matuto tayo. At ngayong gabi, we are gonna try to make money issues or financial issues simple, fun, and sexy. Kaya meron tayong mga sexy na guests ngayong gabi. At ang unang-unang sexy ay ang aking co-host, Pasok Warren.
Wow, sexy ka agad ang peg. Hello everybody, thank you for joining the stream. Hindi po ako sexy, medyo matanda na po ako. Grabe naman sa kalbo sa build-up.
Tayo ngayong gabi, Besh.
Ay, nako. Tagal natin hindi nakita.
Oo nga, parang kahapon lang. Warren, ngayong gabi, anong expectations mo?
Ay, excited ako dahil meron tayong isang magaling sa professional finance community na magsasabi kung saan dapat tayo mag-invest, si Mr. Phillip Hagedorn of ATR Asset Management. Lagi siyang lumalabas po sa ABS-CBN, ANC channel. Excited po ako para marinig yung suke. I can't wait for his tips because you can definitely use all of his tips when you start your investing journey. And of course, we're going to be joined by another friend of ours from ABS-CBN, Mr. Migs Bustos. He's going to give us a couple of tips on of his own in terms of managing his finances. So a very, very, very packed show. And sabi mo sexy, yan si Migs Bustos, yan ang sexy.
Ayan,
abangan natin yan.
Judge na lang po mamaya. Kayo na mag-judge kung tama yung mga kiniklaim namin dito. Sexy kasi, sexy dahil exciting. Ikaw naman. Exciting ang pera, hindi kailangan katakutan, walang judgment na sinasama. Basta we just want to learn more things para naman maiwasan natin itong mga scam dyan, scam sa kaliwa, scam sa kanan, mga specs, masyadong maraming specs. Pecs daw yung kailangan, hindi diba? Nainit talaga. Tapos, para sa mga OF viewers natin, mga overseas Filipino workers, aside from celebrity finance, investments, meron din tayong OFW finance ngayon. Ipa-plug ko na in a little while. Nasa stream na po natin si Ishingel Onika. Tama ba? Shine, di ba? Shine nga ba yung pangalan niya? Good evening po. Thank you po for joining the stream. At para po sa mga nakikinig, kasi simulcast po tayo ngayon sa, nandito tayo sa YouTube, sa Facebook at nasa Kumu din po tayo. Kaya please don't forget to share the live stream at para naman masuportahan natin ang ating advocacy. Tatanggapin po namin ng buong-buo ang inyong mga virtual gifts. Pag nagpapasak po kayo, mas marami po kami matutulungan. Ayan.
Padala lang. Diyan si Sir Aris Balora ng Janulet. Last night lang, kasama natin siya, di ba?
Kanina kasama ko siya sa meron akong isang stream din for insurance company.
Thank you so much for joining in. Isa pa yung kasama mo si Jose. Kasi ayan, oh, kakasabi lang niya, extraordinary yan.
Grabe, hirapan ako kanina kasi nagkaroon ako ng technical glitch. Si Randall Thompson po, ang haba daw ng buhok ni Warren. Mamaya, mahaba din po yung hair ng ating investment expert. Tingnan niyo po mamaya. Kanina nagkaroon ako ng grabe technical glitch. Hindi nag-work yung ang tawag nito, yung presentation ko. So, dinaan ko na lang sa kwento. How do you teach the power of compounding without slides?
Ay, kayang-kaya mo yan. Ang galing mo magkwento.
Nag-enjoy
Easy lang
naman.
yan.
Pero natutsang ang hair ko. Ayan, bago po ang lahat, alam ko po, dumadami na po yung ating comments. Marami na pong nag-check-in sa atin. Marian Calaw, Jose is already sending questions.
Oo nga, ang galing.
Si
Mamaya
Jen,
yan sa Q&A.
dito po ulit, there's Renz Liano from Kuwait, also a financial literacy advocate. Si Dominic Lagrama, good evening daw, Sir Warren and Ma'am Salve. Meron po tayo
hello.
sa Japan, si Ama Azanya Masuda.
Wow, hello. Konnichiwa.
Suki dito. There's Aisha Hortizuela from the United States, Austria, Orland, and yes, si Jose Miguel at si Margie Loriga.
Yun, ang daming tanong.
Ang dami.
Oo, exciting.
Sa nasa Bicol to ngayon, pati mga kaklase ko ng high school, natutuwa naman ako. Anyway, para po sa ating mga overseas Filipino viewers, meron po kaming ikukwento tomorrow. So Warren, sobrang excited ako dito kasi na-meet ko sila when I went to Dubai for a financial literacy talk. At itong mag-asawa na to, sobrang bait talaga nila. He's a videographer, professional photographer. He used to live in the United States and then found the love of his life and moved to Dubai. But the first love of his life, his mom, is getting old. Okay, pakishare po ng stream ng mga OFW para po malaman ninyo what are the best financial tips for Filipinos who are longing to come home for good. Kahapon nung nag-stream tayo, ganito din, di ba? Yung
Oo, medyo. Grabe yung kwento kahapon. Ay, naku, napakahirap talaga ng mga pinagdadaanan ng mga OFWs, Talagang bayani sila sa ginagawa nila ngayon. And I can't wait to listen to this video.
Okay, sige. I'll show you now. I'll add to stream. Ito po yung
hard to prepare, especially in a time like this pandemic where you just kind of thrown in your lap and you deal with it. Luckily, my wife is good with handling the money. So really, that's the secret.
Secret number one, find a wife who knows how to save, invest, and spend money.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that, so of course, you try to reduce a lot of your expenses, try to put money away in anticipation for the move.
As in regularly. Every time, kunwari nakakatanggap ka ng income from your gig or ilang percent yung sineset aside?
Before it was small, but now knowing that I have to go home, it increased marginally. So 20, 30, and then a lot of it you just basically live on bread and butter because you know what you're gonna get into. So.
Pero mahirap yun for you kasi yung gadgets mo pala magkano na yun, diba?
But here's my paniniwala ako sa gadgets. It's okay to invest in this because you can make your money back.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with,
Hindi siya spending.
Yeah.
Investing.
But you have to be very cautious because it's easy to get gas. What is gas? Gear acquisition syndrome.
Dati ba na-gas ka?
Oh, yes. All photographers and videographers will go through gas. So anyways, basically, what I always tell my students when I give workshops is, does your purchase dictate, does your requirements dictate that purchase? Kung wala kang requirements, you don't need to.
Kahit na it's new, it's swanky, it's parang it's cool kasi mas magaling, mas maganda yung gear mo kaysa sa ibang videographer.
Mas believe ako sa tao na nasa kanya yung skill. Kaysa
Simple
dun sa
lang
taong minimal lang yung skill pero high-end naman yung gamit niya. The output is night and day. So
how long did it take before you got over gas?
quickly, probably after the year.
Lalo na pag binabudget ka na ni Ola.
Yeah, exactly.
Ayun, nako.
Ang galing. Ang ganda.
Tingin mo?
It's hard.
Gustong-gusto ko yung yung unang tip niya, yung pinag-usapan niyo, find a good partner. A partner who is good with money. Ay, nako, napaka-importante yan. A lot of the couples out there, they don't even talk about money, tapos magpapakasal na. And then pag kasal na, dun lumalabas lahat.
Laging sinasabi sa akin yan, dapat kasama daw yan dun sa, ano yun, yung seminar bago ikasal?
Shucks. Yung nasa isip ko, Senomar, Certificate of Marriage yata yan.
I remember, di ba usually they talk about, hindi ko na nga maalala kung ano yung laman ng seminar na yun. You know, it's important to learn about financial issues before ikasal because usually yan din ang nagiging cause ng paghihiwalay. Ayaw naman natin sabihin na maghihiwalay kayo pag hindi yung financial twin nyo ang pinakasalan nyo. But it's important always, di ba, to know about that. Pero Warren, meron ka pang susunod na guest na kakakasal.
Oo nga, very new family, growing family, and kakasabi lang niya sa atin yung pangalan ng seminar Before You Get Married, pre-K na. So yun, yung dapat isama doon yung financial issues, yung sinasabi ko is Mr. Migs Bustos of ANC, ABS-CBN sportscaster, he's into cars as well. Ayan yung sinasabi ko na sexy sa start ng show natin. Ayan pa lang, tira mo yung mukha pa lang.
Dapat ba nakasado ako dito para kahit
Pwede, para pakita mo naman. Sabi ko nga kanina, pecs, hindi specs.
Hi, Salve. Hi, Warren. Salamat sa pag-give
Hi,
Nick. Thank you. Tsaka masaya naman, kasi kami ni Warren, when we talk in the newsroom, we always talk about sports. Pero ngayon, syempre, nandito ako sa show ninyo, maganda talagang pag-usapan natin ng finances. Especially during the time of 2020, na talagang ang dami nangyari sa atin, hindi natin alam what our next job will be. Pero siguro talaga, tama yan eh. It's nice, it's important to find the right partner para supportado ka na talaga lahat. So, nagagawin mo at the same time, meron kang check and balance. Meron kang accountability sa isa. So yeah, go ahead guys. I can't wait to
Absolutely, Migs. And
pwede ba yung check and balance? Kami mga babae ang taga-gastos, kayo yung taga-check.
parang
talaga sa mga 11-11, alam mo yun?
12. Delikado. 3, ay nako, 3-3. Bagong invento, 3-3.
3-3.
Meron bang 3-3 last year? Parang wala eh.
Bago yan. Una, 11, 12. 3-3 naman.
Mix credit card mo, okay lang? O sige. Balance.
Wait lang, guys, sa mga nanonood ngayon sa YouTube, Facebook at Twitter, gaano ka-sexy si Migs Bustos? From 1 to 10. Ayan, sige, magpapaulan ako ng dias pagka.
Maglalabas eh. Hintayin natin.
Gaano ka-sexy? Haba din ang hair niyan eh.
Pero maganda yung topic ni Migs tonight, Salve. Kasi a lot of people right now, they're trying to do a side hustle, make more money online, become an influencer. They're trying all the different kinds of social media platforms, parang Kumu, YouTube, Facebook. At yung importante is yung physical appearance mo, di ba? Kasi you're on cam and you're live and you're trying to get people to believe that in you and your brand while you're doing stuff online. And Migs is going to tell us about how to manage those expenses in terms of, looking good, on cam. Even though...
Wait, Migs. Bago ka magsalita, on the spot ko muna kayo ni Warren.
Ano?
Akala ni Warren, ikaw lang lulutuin ko ngayong gabi. Pareho kayong dalawa. Okay, both of you. Well, the three of us. Pero ako nagtatanong wala kayong magagawa. Nasa career kayo na kailangan nyo laging naka-suit, diba? Yung sabi nila, yung mumurahin na suit, mumurahin mo rin. Okay, so magkano ba yung magandang suit? Diba? Tapos, kailangan mo mag-gym kasi you're in a very visual career. Kailangan mo ng magandang gupit lagi. Lalaki pa naman, ang bilis umaba ng buhok. Okay, tell me how bad it can go for people who want to be influencers, who want to be well-known in social media. How bad can it go in terms of mga gastos para you look good? Ano yung mga horror stories na alam nyo?
Go, Migs, go.
Well, siguro, bad for the wallet. But bad for the wallet. Pero kapag napirmahan mo na yun, kapag naibigay mo na, it has to be, for me, it has to be approached in a sense that it is an investment. Kasi kaya mo nga siya bibilhin eh. Kaya ka nga mag-upgrade. Kaya mo nga yung regular na gagawin. 'Di ba? Although, tawag mo dito, kung hindi mo naman i-investan yung sarili mo, paano mo rin ma-upgrade yung sarili mo? So for me, the best approach to that is just, sige, may balik din to. Kasi kung hindi ko naman to gagawin, hindi rin ako magiging effective sa trabaho ko. In terms of how bad can it get, rin ako I'm very practical when it comes to quote-unquote shopping for clothes. So as long as it gets the job done, it's practical. Diba? Hindi naman ako talaga ma-luxury. I've never akong nasilaw sa mga, those signature brands.
Hindi, sandali. Teka, Migs. Teka lang.
How bad can it get eh?
Ante, magkano yung pinakamahal mo na suit? Aminin mo.
Siguro pinakamahal kong nagastos in value, siguro mga 4, 5?
5,000? Okay na ba sa yan, Warren? Is that a steal? Is that mahal?
That's good. That is good, actually. That's good. You can go to some of those tailors na yung hindi branded, 'di ba? Hanap ka na lang ng tailor sa Kamuning, gano'n.
Ano to? Arthurs?
Bili ka ng tela.
Bili ka ng tela.
Pwede yun? Tapos
Bili ka ng tela.
So ano nga yung tawag nila noon, yung customized? So it's now bespoke. Mamaya tatanungin din natin yung investment expert natin kasi he's also like always in suits and stuff.
Oo. Sexy din yun.
Yes. How about a hair nun? Okay. So anong quick tip before I bring in our investment expert and Migs, best tips for celebrity finance. O, di ba? Yeah, celebrity ka, Migs. Kailangan magbigay ka ng tip ngayon kung papaano ng mga tao mamamanage yung kanilang finances even if you're in a career na mukhang yayanin.
It's best siguro in our jobs, di ba? I guess we have that in common. It's best to be detail-oriented. When you go on scripts, when you go on interviews, it's the same thing when we manage our personal finances. I can't say that I'm the best in Excel, in Microsoft Excel, and jotting down my expenses, etc. But it's just important na alam lang natin kung saan napupunta yung pera natin. And for me personally, I don't put my eggs in one basket. I have multiple accounts, multiple bank accounts. Yun lang, di ba? Just to checking account. Recently, before my wife gave birth, I set up another savings account para lahat ng mga racket, lahat ng mga bonus, lahat ng mga savings doon ko na napupunta. So meron din ako savings account on my own. So medyo distributed yung revenue, tapos kung saan ko siya dinideposit. So for me siguro yon, kasi ano na rin ngayon siguro in the time of 2020 yung ating digital shift, lahat talaga nag-shift online. And at the same time siguro maganda rin yan kasi you don't put your eggs in one basket kasi yung masabi may kakilala ko, na-hack yung account niya. Tapos nalimas lahat ng savings niya. Yeah, just in December. And good thing he was able to
Sakit.
Masakit. So for me, siguro yun yung isa sa mga basic kong ginagawa. And then at the same time, it also helps because online now has really given you those receipts. Kung ano yung gagamit ka ng GCash, gagamit ka ng mga online platforms, lahat naka-chat lang. So at the same time, when you reconcile your expenses and your revenue, ay paano, walang nawala. Diba? Kasi kapag cash, bigay ka ng cash, tapos wala kang ginastos yun. So at least yun, namomonitor mo kung ano yung mga ginagastos.
Kuripot ka ba?
Yes.
Dito, it's a matter of pride when you're kuripot.
I'm practical.
Yeah. Ayaw niya ng word na kuripot. Gusto niya practical.
Practical.
Partner Warren.
Ano?
Kasi Q&A section kung ano yung kakuriputan nating dalawa. Pero, ang dami kasi nating viewers sa Kumu. Mr. Beauty Queen 8, It's Me Macy, Panalo si Kersey, Randy 10, Bonje Boy, Josh De La Viña. Thank you po sa ating mga Kumu viewers at ang mga babagsak niyo pa na regalo. Thank you. Maraming salamat. And we have some people coming in from Facebook and YouTube. Nag-hello na po si Elio. Siya po yung isang girl nakita nyo dun sa video kanina. At marami na po tayong questions. But before we go to all your questions, sino yung susunod na sexy guest natin?
Yan, papasok na natin. Mr. Phillip Hagedorn of ATM Management. Hi, Phillip!
Dad bod lang.
Akala ko lalabanan mo si Migs sa ganun na eh.
Hindi, uso yung dad bod ngayon. Ako rin, dad bod din ako. Importante yun para paghawak mo sa baby.
Dad bod.
May patungan.
May patungan sa baby.
Sakto.
Well, thanks, Philip, for joining us today, guys. You all know Philip is a face you often see on TV, di ba? Sabi nga ni Warren kanina, suking-suki yan sa ABS-CBN, but it's also all over the place. And he always talks about, what I like about Philip is that he always talks about investments in a very clear way. You know, kahit na ang tagal-tagal mo na sa market, you whenever we interview and On the Money, for instance, ang bilis maintindihan, and that's exactly what we want to do here. We want to make finance, what did I say kanina? Simple and
sexy.
Ayaw pa rin sabihin, simple and sexy. So, today, partner Warren, si Philip has decided to talk about a hot fund for the week. Dati, we always have a hot stock for the week. Tonight, we're going to talk about a hot fund for the week because many of our viewers here in the Salvices YouTube channel, Facebook page, IG, Twitter, Kumu are good investors in pooled funds. Kasi nga marami din OFs hindi masyadong nakatutok sa market, or they don't feel Philip, they don't feel confident enough to pick stocks, 'di ba? Kasi nakakatakot talaga naman 'yon. So what's your hot fund for the week?
Well, thanks, Salva and Warren, for inviting me. Really a pleasure to be here. And I do want to offer some advice on stocks. And I think, first of all, people, there's a great opportunity to buy stocks now. My grandfather, lolo ko, stockbroker din. Sabi niya, there's only one rule: buy low, sell high. And right now, the market is low. Alam natin na bagsak yung market, di ba? Over the last year. This is a good time to think long-term and buy stocks. So what I want to propose is looking at also funds, kasi many of the people there don't have really a lot of time to spend in front of the market. They don't know what stock to buy. It takes a while to learn this. Pero if you buy a fund, it's the first way to start. Parang if you want to drive in EDSA, diba? You can drive your car by yourself, or you can ride in a bus na may bus driver na, sige, sakay na, and get down the road as well. Diba? And that's what funds are. And
pwede ka matulog, short. Makakatulog kami pag sumakay kami sa bus. Pero if we drive ourselves...
Basta hindi nakatulog yung bus driver, ha?
Tama.
Yung bus driver.
Mamili ka ng magandang bus driver, yung magaling.
Basta mamili ka sa bus driver at na bus na...
At wait lang,
at least solid yung bus.
Di ba? Hindi marunong promeno. Minsan may sumasakay pa, tapos umaarangkada na siya. So, kaya nga, so may mga bus drivers, I mean, it's good to ride a bus because kami mga retail investors, pwede na kaming sitting pretty lang because we pay a small fee, yung pamasahe namin, konti lang, maliit lang, we pay a small management fee so that the bus driver, siya yung magpapagod mag-decide. Kung kailan sa stop, diretso, kakaliwa, kanan, bahala na siya. But, yun na nga, may mga bus drivers, lalo na sa Commonwealth where I live, grabe, from the left side, kumakanan, kumakaliwa, diretso, minsan may
sumasakay. Salve, sa pagbili ng funds, you can read information about the bus driver before.
Ayun.
May track record yan eh. Imagine kung makikita mo yung driver's license record ng bus driver before pupasok ka sa bus. Baka you won't ride some buses, right? So funds are like that. There's a lot of information. You can read about them. You can see who's managing it. And And the best thing about it for me, for retail investors, for small investors, that's where you can get the ideas, where you can buy your own stocks also. Kasi if the big fund managers are doing something and they found a company that's interesting, makikita mo yan sa fund. You can buy it also on your own. At least may guidance ka. At least may roadmap, di ba? That you can use. So, and of course, because we know there's plenty of funds. There's many types of funds out there. So what I want to talk about is buying Philippine equity funds. It's a good time to do that now. And the one fund that we're promoting is now called the SDG fund. It's our newest fund. And it's aligned with a little bit of sustainability. Well, not a little bit. It's aligned with the UN sustainability goals. Companies that look at these goals and try to achieve the highest ratings as far as our views are concerned. So it's a different way of investing, but you're still investing in stocks. And you have companies there like Ayala Land is there. At the same time, you have an Axelum that's also in that stock, in that fund. So it's hindi lang yung malaking company. There's small companies and big companies in this fund that are, in our view, adhering to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And in the end of the day, really are doing good. And I think these companies, who doesn't want to be a shareholder of these companies that are doing these positive things? So,
Right.
I think that's the fund that we want to highlight today.
Absolutely. And we should break down that. What does sustainable development goals, what do they mean? No? So ito yung mga kumpanya na tumutulong sa environment, meron silang impact on the environment or on sustainability, on the community that they serve. Kumbaga, responsible companies sila, and they're trying to make a difference.
Pero, Warna and Salve, I mean, I think what I do want to say is the Philippine companies are, in a big way, starting to embrace this. No? Some faster than others. So it's a journey that companies are taking, and you know, walang failing score, walang bad score. Just know where you are. Have you started? Have you thought of this? Are you embedding it in your business and in your management, in your culture, and the way you do things? And it's a different way of looking at companies, which is very interesting for us, and I think we learn a lot about it. When we do this process, a lot of things that we wouldn't normally learn about a company because we're always looking at the boring stuff, the financials, the earnings, this stuff that, it's a lot more fun for me to look at. It's more sexy to look at sustainability and ESG than it is to look at a financial report.
Well, you're being modest, naman. You're being modest, Philip. The fund manager guys, for your information, they look at the boring stuff for you, so you don't have to. So they understand what's going on with the finances. Kung kumikita tong mga to, o kung malaki na pala ang utang, hindi mo na dapat lagyan ng pera. They're doing that for you. So that's why buying a fund is like taking the bus. They're doing the work for you.
Ideally. Wait, Philip, I have a question also. So how well is this fund doing, and how much is the management fee per year? And then if is it for investors who need returns for 5 years, in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Ano dapat yung time horizon when you want to buy this fund?
So we just launched the fund. It was just launched on February 17th. So it's very new. It's launched with around 400 million pesos in assets under management, in AUM of that fund. The management fee, I think, is 1.75% for retail investors, which is right around the equity asset, the management fee for equity funds. So this is an equity fund. Make no mistake about it. So you're taking risk. And there's 20 stocks in this fund today. And it's an equally weighted fund. So a stock would either have one of two weights only, 6.5% or 3.5%. That's the model weight of the portfolio. So it's a very unique way of constructing a portfolio. So it's a long-term horizon, because anytime you invest in equities, you have to think long-term. Is it longer term than investing in an index fund? No. I think it would be, you know, I think you would expect these companies to perform as well. Of course, we do our boring homework of the fundamentals, which we make sure that even if they're doing very good sustainably and with ESG and the rest, that they're also financially stable, that their credit is good, etc. No? We don't disregard that. So it's exciting for us. It's exciting to learn about companies like for example, did you know that Jollibee, more than half of their power comes from renewable sources in their factories? Or did you know that Metrobank, BDO, and BPI, women make up more than 50% of senior management in those three banks in terms of a fairness?
Sexy.
You know, companies like Century Foods and Axelum, zero waste. So tuna that goes through the process in Century Tuna, not even the fin, nothing is left at the end of it, right? And this is stuff that it's really cool to find out about, right? When you're learning about companies and
Galing.
you know, and if companies do this more, it certainly will be the favorite for everyone as well, you know. So
it's really cool to think that while you're investing, you're also saving the world. Because sabi ko nga sa'yo kanina, my surprise question is, when do you think the world's going to burn? And is there anything that investors can do to prevent that from happening, di ba? I don't want to see a burned world. Scorched earth na tayo.
The only time the world will burn was when it's the end of time. People have faith in people. We've always come forward. The cream rises to the top, and we move on. And we go through these humps, and we learn from them, and we move on. And I'm confident we're going to be moving on from this one.
Yeah.
We invest intelligently and smartly.
Just start doing it. And by the way, earlier Migs said, you know, savings account. Okay.
Yeah.
Your job does not end with you putting your money in your savings account. That's only the beginning, okay? Because in that savings account, yung inflation, nasa 4% na yung inflation natin, okay? Yung savings account na yan, minus less than 1%. Lugi ka sa savings account. So, but wait, if you made the decision to put it in the savings account now, your next decision now is, what investment product can I now transfer this to make sure I can make income? Because if you cannot beat inflation, you're not making income. I don't care, you know, you're just not. And so that's the next step. You have a great first step. If you're putting that money in the savings account, fantastic. Do that. But the next step is, hanapin natin yung mga investment product na kaya natin mag-invest. Diba?
Yeah, and the BSP just said that they're looking at inflation probably hitting or possibly hitting 5.1% in February. 5.1. So medyo matindi na yung negative
And partner Warren, 5.1 is for the basic basket of goods. So malamang yung inflation ni Philip mga 7%. Mga ganun. Mahalang scotch tsaka beer. Diba?
Basta tumataas yung mga presyo, you need to find better investments.
I love
so
your
savings account, okay yun. First parking spot.
And then,
don't go from the savings account and then buy an Oakley sunglasses. Savings account, investment product.
Tama. Wait, Philip, may magandang question. Magkano daw yung, excited na, magkano daw yung kailangan minimum na ilalagay doon? Can they do that through your GCash app?
Yeah, I mean, there's no excuse anymore, okay? In GCash, 50 peso minimum. I hope na
50 pesos.
You have more than a pack of cigarettes worth to invest, please. I mean,
mas mahal ba sa isang Jollibee?
I love that. 50 pesos. That's inclusive. That is an inclusive minimum amount.
So the 50 pesos, there's a equity fund, there will be a bond fund, there's a money market fund there. the 50 peso minimum via GCash. And then in our website, all of our funds are available. That's 1,000 minimums that way. But we have the global funds available as well. So, but learn about it. Don't go there. Spend 1 hour. In 1 hour, you can open an account, read a little bit, and begin the journey. Right?
Okay, guys, tandaan niya. Go there, read about it. Huwag kayong mag-invest just because sexy si Philip at mahaba ang hair niya. Umiinit na yung ating mga questions, so I would like to bring in. But before I bring in again Migs for the question and answer portion, Philip, 1.75% management fee per year is a little bit more than your index funds, no? Are there any other
it is.
like? Is there an incentive fee? Are there other fees that investors should know about aside from the management fee? Like performance fees all the time?
There are no performance fees, no. I mean, obviously there are some normal expenses that funds have, but the management fee is the main expense, no? That's a little bit higher than index funds because index funds purely replicate. Nobody is thinking about adding or doing research or just copying an index. We have to do some work. So it costs money to do that.
Okay, sales load.
It's great that Philip shares the expenses because that's what you're paying them. So before you get into any fund, look for those expenses. And it's great that if you find somebody like Philip upfront sila with the expenses, nothing to hide, diba? So look for those kinds of funds that won't kill you on the fees.
Yeah, dapat nothing to hide kasi mas sexy yung transparent. Okay, balik na po, akyat na po, Migs. We'll go to our question and answer portion. Okay, bago ko po, Migs, diretso na tayo kasi ang init-init na ng chat eh. Marami ng tanong. Sa Kumu po, kung meron po kayong questions, pwede po kayong magtanong dyan. Tatanungin natin, on the spot natin ang ating mga sexy guests for tonight. First of all, we have question from Jay Tolentino. Can the fund consistently beat the index? Answer, Philip.
Well, we hope so. I mean, this is a new fund, and the back tests are very promising. But you shouldn't just have one way to invest. When you invest in the index, the only thing you're doing is investing in the biggest companies. Not a bad way. It's not a bad way to invest. It's probably should be your core way of investing. But what about all the other companies that are doing good things? Don't you want to invest in those too? So you have to diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one strategy.
Also, small companies na hindi kasama sa index but they're doing well. There's a quick question from Gemma. Nasa GCash po ba yung sinasabi ninyong SDG fund?
No, it's not yet in GCash, but we're hoping it will be there by mid-year. We hope so.
Okay, quick round na to kasi sayang eh. Habang nandito si Philip, sa susunod pong kakausapin niyo yun si Philip, mahal na ang charge niya. Kaya dito itanong na agad lahat. Uy, Migs and Warren, pag may mga questions din kayo, go shoot lang. Okay. Yes. Meron pa pong question dito and everybody can chime in. REITs, are they safe?
Yeah, that's a good question. What do you think, Philip?
Are they safe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, ang galing. Isang sagot lang. Yes, they're safe.
Yes. I think
Pero
so.
pa iba kasi at the moment, iisa pa lang, right?
How
do you
may lalabas na.
which REIT is good? Okay, Philip, can you take that?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question. Which REIT is good?
A
Is that
new
what you said?
REIT will be coming out
Kayong
soon.
finance experts, makikinig lang ako dito.
Sige lang, and you can ask questions, Migs. I'm sure mamaya meron mga questions for celebrities. Okay? Pagka marami ka ng REITs na pagpipilian, what kind of things should you watch out for when you're trying to choose?
Well, you have to first understand the REIT is makes money by leasing property. You're a landlord, number one, right? And so, of course, it's not bad being a landlord as long as your return is fair, right? What sort of yield are you expecting to make as a landlord? And then you have to worry about all the other things a landlord has to worry about. Mawawala ba yung mga tenant ko o hindi? Can we grow the business more? Can we increase rents? So that's how you have to think about it as a REIT, no? That you're a landowner, you're a landlord, you have income coming, and you receive that income as a dividend every year. Now, your price can also go up if the REIT owns the land. That's the big difference between the two REITs that are now there, no? Yung Ayala Land REIT and the Double Dragon, I think.
Dragon coming up.
Double Dragon, they own the land. Yung Ayala Land, not yet, but there's plans. And so, may upside din kung you own the land. If you don't own the land, you have no real upside on the land. No? So it's to keep it simple, that's the way to think about it. You're becoming a landlord. At kung happy ka sa 6%, sa 5% return, okay yung REIT.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't
I agree.
expect it to make 20%. Hindi mangyayari yan.
Yeah.
Baka sa price movement or whatever, pero that's what you have to expect.
Ang ganda ng analogy, no? You want to be a landlord, and if you want to do that, you need a lot of capital. Are you going to buy land? You're going to build up a mall? Can you do that on your own? Can you build your own apartment building? Mahirap yan, di ba? For a lot of us, most of us actually. So if you get into a REIT, you buy whatever the price is in the stock market. It trades, goes up and down. You can buy at any point, and then you're going to get a return, 5%, 6%, whatever it is. Landlord ka na at less than the cost of actual land.
Hindi mo binili lahat ng lupa. Hindi ka nagpatayo ng building. Si Migs yata, tingnan mo yung mukha ni Migs, parang nagpaplano na siyang bumili ng REITs. Day trader na po siya. Okay, wait lang.
Pag-alamanin natin yung Double Dragon recently, di ba? So,
ayan.
Absorbing lang tayo.
Okay, SDG Fund and ESG Fund. But before that, shout out po kay Densho Tan. I hope you're still here. Okay, Philip, difference between SDG and ESG?
Well, SDGs are the Sustainable Development Goals that the UN has come up with. There are 17 Sustainable Development Goals that are supposed to solve the world's problems, right? If people put capital to these goals and issues, that the biggest problems of the world will be solved. ESG, and so funds that are focused on that score companies based on those metrics. No? ESG is a risk metric that looks at companies from the environmental, social, and governance point of view. There's a lot of crossover between both. Companies that do very good SDG normally will score very high with ESG. Normally. So companies can do very high on ESG, but not be very focused or integrated in their sustainability programs yet. So it's a little bit of a different way of looking at it. I think ESG is a big buzzword already, and I think all of our strategies, whether it's sustainability or just our core equity strategies, run companies through an ESG scoring already. So we've embedded ESG in our whole process, and Filipino companies have adopted pretty good in ESG. They do quite well. Especially in governance. Believe me, when I was a broker 30 years ago, transparency was impossible. I mean, there was no transparency whatsoever. It's a big difference today.
Hindi sexy yun, yung walang transparency, no? Di ba, Migs,
Hindi
no?
sexy kung walang transparency.
Hindi. Di ba, it's sexy pag transparent. Wait, parang ang sama yata. Delete.
Oo nga, kanina ko sinasabi yan, Salve, gusto mo na transparency para sexy.
Hindi ko message. Joke lang. Okay.
I have some comments. Ito si Raymond Maninatan. Sabi niya, thank you, Sir Philip.
Aris, muna tayo, Warren, pakibasa.
From Aris, question po kay Sir Philip. Next year, election year, ano yung impact sa stock market?
Philippine market loves elections. Let me tell you that. They love it.
Quotable ka.
Umabot ka talaga sa camera no? Okay.
I mean, it's you can go back, I don't know, as far back. I mean, elections are always a feel-good. We love elections to begin with. It's like a national pastime. And consumption, which has been so badly hit last year, has a real chance to recover in a big way because of that. So baka ma-turbo boost yung consumption with election spending, and I think it's going to be very hotly contested too. So lots of candidates, and it's going to be very interesting. And I think consumption is going to be a big story, and it'll help the pain that a lot of companies, restaurants, these folks that really are struggling up to today to come back. It's going to be super important. And elections, you can look at it every year. I think 2016 was tough because we went up super strong, and then by mid-year, we gave it all back. So parang konti lang yung gain, but there was a big run-up in that election period as well in 2016.
So consumption
Hindi,
stocks.
parang-
Consumption
Yeah.
stocks.
Tingnan mo, nagno-notes. Kasi itong dalawang celebrity natin, si Migs tsaka si Warren, mga celebrity investors yan, Philip. Kaya, nagno-notes yan eh. Kita mo sa baba, si Migs nga, ano na siya. Ano kayang bibilin niya bukas?
Tanungin natin si Migs. Pero si Raymond lang, I just wanted to say, thank you, Sir Philip. He has 2 ATRAM accounts. So may fan ka dito sa ano natin.
Oo. Hindi. Yan. Ilagay natin.
Yun.
Dalawang
Migs.
account siya, magdadagdag daw ng isa.
Magdadagdag ng isa. Migs, ano yung nasa portfolio mo? Share naman.
Yun, kanina, I went in the ASEAN train, maybe a little late, kasi alam ko yung ASEAN, I've been hearing na matagal nang nandyan yan, kumbaga dormant lang. Then eventually, nag-spike siya this year, di ba? I mean, early this year. I went in that train, maybe late, and then good thing I was eligible to get the SRO option. So buti na lang, kahit medyo natalo ako, nabawi ko siya on that end. So that's good for my portfolio now. I'm riding the, kumbaga pagdating sa mga blue chips, I'm on the, ano nga ba yung mga ano ko? I'm there with URC, DMCI, because I've always believed that real estate is there. It will always create something, even though last year na kahit yung pandemic, tapos lahat, di ba, maraming mga nawalan, maraming mga hindi mo masabi kung magkakaroon pa ng trabaho. Even though it went down, I know it's still going to be there. It's still going to be there. Banking on ABS, why not? Di ba?
Yes.
Love your own. So,
Some people think that's a value play, ha? Some.
Nowhere
Yes,
to go
there
but
is.
up.
Yes, there will be. Especially when I went in nung nagkaroon ng A to Z. And that's something that's an indicator. So it's just maybe just hopeful. But right now I have Marimar, Dito is there. It's on the play also. So yeah.
Nice.
So I hope lang it all plays out in the end.
Nice one.
Nice. Si Salve fan niya ng DMCI. Always, she
Yes.
always talks about it.
And I'm staying at a DMCI property. So love your own.
Well, guys, alam nyo, mabibitin na naman ang ating mga viewers tonight because we only have just 1 or 2 questions left. At yung 1 or 2 questions na yun, hindi na investment. Ako na magtatanong nun. Guys, nagay nyo nga sa stream ngayon. What do you think is the one thing about Philip that most people don't know about? Hulaan nyo na. Magpapa-price tayo ng isang butil ng kape.
Isang butil ng kape.
What do you think is the one thing about Philip that most people don't know about? Same thing with Migs. Papatanong ko kayo. Anong favorite subject ni Migs nung high school? Math, science, o araling panlipunan? Lagay sa stream. Sige. Okay, and for all of those na nag-iisip pa, tandaan nyo lang po all the questions that we weren't able to answer because there's still a lot of questions coming in. Yun nga, mga OFW daw, Philip, pwede daw ba sila mag-open ng account sa Atram while they're overseas? Nag-yoga daw yung iba. Basta, wow, Sir Philip is like Warren
Buffett. Wow, high praise.
Wow. We want $89 billion for Philip.
I want, please.
Namimigay din ba ng pera si Philip?
Okay.
Give it all away.
Okay. Sabi ni Marco, si Philip daw nag-yoga.
Oh, that's the best.
Hindi ko alam bakit. The answer is, I'll reveal. Philip loves the ocean. He does sailing, diving, name it. Except, ano nga yun, Philip? Except,
jet skis.
Jet ski. Ayaw niya ng jet ski.
nice.
See, ano
Too
naman?
noisy. Too noisy.
Too noisy, too noisy.
Go sailing. If you ever want to experience the ocean, go sailing.
Right.
Saktong masarap na tunog lang ng ocean ang gusto ni Philip. Math ka daw.
Math ka daw.
Think,
Migs.
mathematician ka daw.
Yung misis ko yung best in math. Pero
Ayun.
ako yung kabaliktaran.
Ito talaga medyo weird. Ako nagulat. Ang favorite niya ay
AP. Araling Panlipunan.
Ayaw
I
panlipunan.
love geography and I love history.
Wow.
Okay, guys.
Ayan.
Thank you
Yan.
so much for joining our show today. Philip, quick question before we leave the stream. What stock to watch this week?
Mhm.
This week. Paul. No.
Pet peeve.
Jollibee. I like Jollibee. I think Jollibee, people are going to start moving around again. Jollibee is going to come back strong. So,
All right.
I like Jollibee.
Okay, last final words. Okay, before the final words, please, you can still share the stream even after we finish this YouTube episode.
Yes,
Please share it with all your friends. That way we get to reach more people and more people get financial independence. And then they'll know where to invest their money. But please, buyer also, hindi naman buyer beware, but always study first. Even if we talk about certain investments here in the stream, you study first. Sabi nga kanina, aral muna bago mag-invest. Sinasabi din ni Philip yun. And then, please don't forget to follow our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hindi talaga ako marunong. Subscribe and hit the notification button. Hit
share,
that. Yes.
everything. Yes.
Follow
us everywhere.
Yes,
Follow me on
us
Twitter.
everywhere. and don't forget, tomorrow there's a new episode about Ryan Palis. So that's a story that you all need to know about. Please also share that with all your friends. Before we say goodbye, sorry, lagi ako nagmamadali. Final words from Migs and then Philip and then Warren and then we say goodbye.
Alright, so yun lang. Ako personally, marami akong natutunan dito sa stream na ito. Tama si Philip that after, kumbaga, the savings is just a parking lot but you have to find elsewhere to make your money grow. So if you're scared, if you're intimidated, nandiyan ang internet, nandiyan ang Google, maraming mga pwedeng avenues para mapag-aralan ng stock market, para mapag-aralan ang investing. Channels like Warrens and Salves. So, malaking bagay talaga because information is out there and everybody deserves to get rich. Everybody deserves to level up and to upgrade. So, thank you guys for having us. And stay safe, everybody. Please wear masks. May COVID pa rin.
Yes.
Tama.
Philip, go ahead.
Yeah, well, thank you, Salva and Warren. Just start investing. Get off your butts and start doing it. I mean, it's easy now. People are connected. Find the brokerage. Find the asset manager. Open the accounts. Get going. There's a great opportunity. Don't miss out. This is, let's stay safe. Let's stay healthy. And if we do that and invest now, we're all going to be feeling very good about ourselves in a few years. I'm sure about that. So get going. Don't delay.
Yes. Yeah. And sexy. Don't forget. People are sexy. Okay, Warren. Titigil lang ako.
What you guys said, ang galing talaga. And it's great that we have people that are willing to share their personal tips on how they manage their own finances, like Migs, who shared what he does and how he maintains his own professional life and his finances and how he's trying to get into more investing, which everybody needs to do. And of course, Philip, who's, through ATR Asset Management, they're making it easier for us to invest. 50 pesos lang. Pwede na mag-invest, di ba? So, saan ka makakita ng ganun? People are making it easier for all of us to invest. So, I'm very grateful for everybody who came onto the show. Guys, keep safe too.
Grabe, Philip, wala kang binayad dito, bentang-benta yung Atram. But we are happy because
Happy Saturday.
Yes, you gave us the gift of your time. You answered a lot of questions. Migs also. So thank you for all the wisdom that you shared with us today. And to all our viewers, maraming salamat po. Whether on Kumu, thank you for everything. Facebook, YouTube, And what else? Wala na, yun lang pala. So thank you guys. See you again next week, and don't forget to watch the YouTube episode tomorrow. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Follow on Twitter.
Yes. Yay.